everyone, welcome to MinseyCrafts. I am Minna and I am your host on this channel. This is a knitting vlog, crochet vlog, also it's a crafting, mainly knitting and crochet. So in today's episode I am going to be reviewing a knitting accessory, but first of all I would like to declare that I am not sponsored by any of the brands or companies that I'm going to be talking about in these videos. And so let's get into this episode 14, and you have already seen from my title for the video that I am reviewing the Lumos Lumos knitting light. And how I got this was this is essentially a Christmas present souvenir from my husband. He went to US for a work trip and then stayed over to visit some of his friends there, and he's quite the darling, and he knows that to make me happy he brings me souvenirs and gifts from local yarn shops, and so he came across with this, and I didn't think that he even knew about this, but he must have seen it at the shop. And so this antennae looking thing is the Lumos Lumos knitting light. It is a bit pricey, so it came in a box like this, and I know this was supposed to be a gift for me, but confidentially telling you, this was £50, so it's a bit on like I had thought about this before, but then the price was a little bit of a factor. Although, to be honest, I haven't actually seen this on the market in the UK. I will double check one more time after this video, and I will link anything that I find similar on in the description box down below. So yes, so it comes in this. I don't even actually know anymore how it fit in here. Like these are bendy, the antennae, and so that's probably how it came in there. The light itself, so it folds into smaller space. Then it so it's rechargeable, and you have this kind of a micro USB connection here, and this little hole here is a light indicator. So it's when you're charging it, it's red, but then when it's fully charged, it turns green. And the Lumos Lumos light instructions do say that you should charge this at least every 3 months, if unless you use it so much that it runs out sooner. It came with a cable USB to micro USB, and then a very quick knitting light guide, and then there's also they have more instructions on if you go on their website, and they have YouTube videos about how to operate this. But let's get to the review part of the video. So I've now had this about when did he come back? The second week of November. So I've had this now like a little over a month and a half, and I've been using this. So how this operates is you put it on your neck like this, and then you point the lights to your work that you're working on, and then there's bring this closer. So there is little buttons on the sides on the both antennae or both lights, and you just click and it turns on. And there's a few different modes for the light. So the first one was that kind of a bright light. I think it's the double, both of them. So the second one is this kind of orange light, and the third one is very like a kind of a cold LED light, and then you turn them off like that. Now, so you turn them on, and then would fold the antennae so that maneuver them around so that they point at your whatever you're working on. And let's go knitting. One of the other things that you can do is dim or brighten the light, and so now I believe it is the brightest, and let's try to see if we can get it. So yeah, I think that you can see a little bit of a difference in the light intensities here. So by pressing and holding down the light, it dims or intensifies. So now it should be the same as the both should be the same, and and it is quite a bright light. I've not actually used it in a completely dark room at this point. I've not had the need, but I do think that it would probably be sufficient light for me, at least, to be able to see in complete darkness. While I think that this is I'm very happy that I have this accessory, and let's turn this off so you guys don't have to be blinded by it. But there are a couple of like minor cons that I would say is that first of all, how this sits on your neck. So it can be a little bit cold on the neck until you get used to it, but that's probably a minor thing. Well, I have my shawl right now, so that's quite nice. Then I've noticed that when I'm knitting, like, I don't know if I move around a little bit, bobble my head or what, but I feel like these, or if I turn my head to look at my husband to talk to him or something, I've noticed that this kind of like shuffle around a bit, and so I do have to keep like readjusting how the lights point at my work, and so that I'm like optimally getting the light directed at it. But those are probably kind of minor things. I probably would not recommend forgetting them on and falling asleep with them, because this is quite large here in the back and can give you a bit of a neck pain. One of the things that I like about this actually is that because it has this few different light modes, so I found that I actually if my eyes feel tired in the evenings, or once when I was having a bit of a headache feeling, I still wanted to knit a little bit, I noticed that actually this orange light, or I guess you could call it maybe yellow light, was more how would you say it, more gentle for my eyes, and it like was really like made it a lot easier, and whereas I noticed immediately that the bright light, the white light, was like way too bright, and I wouldn't have been able to use that then. Okay, so let's try to see this in action then. So I am knitting here, let's see where I'm at. I think I am on this row. So let's try to, so you can see that it's quite bright, and I am filming this in the evening, and so it's quite dark as well. Like, I'm right next to a dark window here. So hopefully you can see this fairly well. So it does make a big difference, I think. For me, I am now over 40 years old, and like in the last couple of years, or probably longer than that, I've started to realize that I don't see quite as well in the dark anymore as I used to, and especially if I'm knitting with darker yarn, that is a big factor that I would not like to knit in the dark, for sure. And obviously you can use this for other stuff as well, like if you like to read in bed, for example, or the other thing that we've used this in this household as well is fill out sudokus. Also, I will mention that my husband, so where he got this light from, obviously you can get it online, especially if you're in US, but he went to the Knit and Bolt in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and he said that it was a very lovely shop. They were very knowledgeable and helpful to him, and he did bring me some other things, goodies as well from his trip, but I think that's going to be a different episode. I just want to give you guys my honest opinion and review on Lumos Lumos light. And so, what's the final verdict? Would I spend $50 on this Lumos Lumos knitting light? That's a tough question. I think, actually, if you have a good lighting in your house or a good knitting lamp already, you probably wouldn't need this. Or if you're young and you don't have the same issues as some of us older people. But I think if you're someone who knits, goes out and knits a lot and is in perhaps in suboptimally lit areas, in a darker coffee shop, or for example knitting in a car or something like this, I think that this is actually a really good one then. So it really probably depends on your application. I think I probably would have still been able to survive without one. I am really happy that I got this present from my husband. I think that it's really nice of him, and I've been using this a lot. And so really, you need to consider your own needs first before making that kind of a purchase. Which is, by the way, kind of funny. I say that would I spend £50 on a knitting accessory like this, or anything else? But then £50, $50. But if it was yarn, I would not have any problem spending $50 on a couple of balls of yarn, or maybe even single if it's like really premium. So what does that say about me? I'm sure many of you can relate though. So yes, that is my final verdict and honest opinion on this. So I hope that this helped anyone who's been debating this purchase. And I hope that you found this review helpful, and do let me know in comments below if you have used the Lumos Lumos knitting light, or if you have any questions of your own that you want to ask me about it. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and like and subscribe here if you like what you see here. And Happy New Year, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Cheers.